Goddamn right.
Jessica Jones Season 2 is currently available to stream on Netflix, and of course this is the second season of Jessica Jones. I love the first season, by the way. I absolutely love the first season. I think it's one of the best sort of Marvel Netflix shows, probably top 3, and I was very excited to see this, but the thing is, I didn't actually know it was coming out. Like, I had seen like a 30-second teaser like a couple months back, and I thought it was going to come out in like April or May or something, so I was very happy that it came out this early because, well, it was very good, but I'll talk about it in more detail in just a second. But essentially, for those who haven't seen it or haven't seen the entire season, and it basically follows the life of Jessica Jones and everyone around her after the event of the Defenders. And I would say that at the beginning of this season, she's in a much better place psychologically, physically, and, you know, she's working on cases, and she's got Malcolm, who's her assistant. He's gotten over his addiction. You have Trish and Hogarth, you know, all of the characters from season 1, and she stumbles upon this very personal mystery that may lead her to find out where and how she got her powers. And I really love this season of Jessica Jones. It was really good. One of the best, one of the stronger Netflix seasons in the Marvel universe. I would probably say it's 3rd or 4th in my opinion. I'm going to stay pretty vague for the most part because I think it is best to go in, you know, knowing nothing. I'll give my grade first and then I'll go into spoilers for the second half of this video. But the thing that I love most about this season is just how much focus is put on the characters. Jessica and Malcolm and Trish, Hogarth, and just pretty much every character you meet in this show gets explored and expanded upon, and you see them at their weakest points, you see them at their strongest points, and it was just so incredible to watch these characters because they were so well written and so well performed. And unlike shows like Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage, this is a show that doesn't have a ton of action. The action here isn't like super impressive. She doesn't get to use her powers that much, which is one of my problems. But because the dialogue and the characters are so well written, I would say that this show is just as good as, if not better than, those shows. And yeah, that was definitely my favorite thing, the focus on characters and the evolution of these characters that we have seen from season 1 and how they've changed over the course of these seasons. It was just really fun to watch. I'll talk about it more in the spoiler section. Like I said, there isn't like a ton of action in this series, but when there is action, it is done relatively well, not quite as well like Daredevil or Iron Fist. And the main mystery itself I thought was very compelling, and the aftermath of that mystery I thought was even better. Again, I'm going to say very vague here for those who haven't finished the show, but no, I really enjoyed the main story here. Now, if we're talking about some of the problems I had with this season, again, the same problem I have with every season of Netflix is that the 13 episodes is too much. This could have been 10 episodes. It should have been 10 episodes. It wasn't as bad as some shows. Like, I thought The Punisher and Luke Cage really suffered from the 13 episodes, whereas Jessica Jones Season 2 didn't as much, because the storytelling at some points didn't feel as tight and it didn't really have much of a focus. And one issue that I personally didn't have with this season, but I can imagine some people having, is its lack of a clear antagonist. Now, I like these sort of shades of grey. I like that it's not always so black and white, but I can see a lot of people being quite upset because Kilgrave was such an integral part of the first season and he was such a great villain, and with this season there wasn't as much of a clear villain. So I can imagine people getting a bit upset, but I really like the direction they took it in. I loved it, actually, and it just made it so different and so unique. But I do have to say that the 13 episodes were a problem, and the fact that there wasn't a clear villain, a clear antagonist, sometimes meant that the show didn't have that sense of focus. It didn't have that sense of urgency, but they did the best with what they had, and I actually really loved it. The show is also very timely. It has a lot of things to say that, you know, is going on in Hollywood right now. There's this whole subplot with Trish and the movie director. I'm not going to get too much into that because, you know, spoiler territory, but it is very reminiscent of stuff like Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, all that. But weirdly enough, this show was actually filmed before all that came out, so it's very timely, actually, I have to say. And overall, I would say that Jessica Jones Season 2 is really fun. It's really entertaining. It's super emotional as well, surprisingly really emotional. Last episode got me seriously emotional. It explores so many different themes so well through all these great characters, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give Jessica Jones Season 2 an A-. Guys, if you have not finished the show, please stop watching now, but if you have finished all 13 episodes, well, this is the spoiler bit. This is for you. So, Jessica Jones' mom, Alyssa Jones, I thought the actor who played her, Janet McTeer, was amazing. She was just next level. That was some next level acting. Best performance, I would say, out of this series, and maybe even the Marvel Netflix universe. It's her or Vincent D'Onofrio and David Tennant. She was just so heartbreakingly amazing. They made you hate her, they made you love her, they made you understand her. It was just so amazing. And her relationship with Jessica was just so well done. Christian Ritter was just, oh my god, she was so great. And the interplay between these two characters was just amazing to watch. And Trish definitely had a bigger role to play in this season. And I liked some bits of it and I didn't like some bits of it because, you know, the earlier stuff with Griffin, who I thought was a decent character, did feel a bit slow. But when she started getting a little bit sort of darker, I definitely enjoyed that. And I like that, you know, Rachel Taylor, who played Trish, brilliant performance, by the way. And I like that she was willing to make her character unlikable because at the end, you know, Trish she's not nice. She's not a very good person. You can kind of understand why she's doing the things she's doing, which is great writing. But at the same time, you don't agree with them because she does at some points feel like a bit of a fame whore, but at the same time she does feel like Jessica's friend, and the conflict between the two, it's so interesting to watch. And the idea that you are very much like your mum or your dad or your parents, and you know, of course, that Trish is very much like her mum, and Jessica in many ways is like her mum, was great. And I have to say the same thing about Hogarth's storyline, because at the beginning when she had ALS and it wasn't like super compelling, but after a while when she met Inez and Shane and she finds out she gets scammed by them, and then she convinces Inez to kill Shane, I thought that was brilliant, one of the best Hogarth moments. And of course hiring Malcolm to, you know, out her two partners was brilliant. I just loved the character work throughout the entire season. But I have to say that my favourite thing was the relationship between Jessica and Alyssa. And I kind of predicted that that woman was going to be her mum. It's quite, I personally found it to be quite predictable. But I love her, I just love Jessica's relationship with everyone, whether it's Trish or Malcolm or what the other guy, the guy who, her superintendent and the kid, right? I love that relationship. But the best was with her and Alyssa, and the last moments they had with each other, whether it was saving the family or at the Ferris wheel, I was just so beautiful and so heartbreaking. And you had Kilgrave for, you know, a sneaky cameo, which was great. But overall, you know, I really enjoyed this season, and I think it's one of the stronger Marvel seasons. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed Jessica Jones Season 2. Thank you.